time will heal, but time doesn't heal anything at all. Time only makes it accepting. You become more normal with accepting your pain, and you never get over your grief, but you start remembering them in beautiful days. Instead of tears, you start remembering them with smiles and keeping them alive in their good memories, with their good moments that you spent with them. That's my biggest learning, that every little baby step that I'm taking, maybe some people are proud of me, they help me, they support me, but some people are still not understanding my journey. So I think I really can't explain it to everybody. It's my own journey. The pain was mine, the suffering was mine. But whatever little, big and small I'm doing right now, if that gives me happiness, if that gives me 10 hours of happy sleep, and if I'm able to contribute anything at all to society, then I feel my purpose, my life is also achieved.
In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. मुश्किल घड़ियों में ही कहीं न कहीं अवसर छुपे होते हैं। ईयर 2020, पैंडेमिक, कोविड ने पूरी दुनिया को हिला के रख दिया। बहुत सारी फैमिलीज ने अपनों को खोया, और इसी कोविड में दिव्या गुप्ता कोटावाला ने अपने नियर फैमिली मेंबर को खोया। वो दुख में चली गई, बट उन्होंने इस दुख को चैनलाइज्ड किया एक बुक के रूप में। वो एक होम मेकर थी बिफोर कोविड, और उस दुख के बाद में उन्होंने चैनलाइज किया और एक बुक लिखी। नाउ शी इज एन ऑथर, renowned author with a published book, My Dad's Daughter. Yes, she lost her father in COVID. In this episode, we discuss with Divya क्या प्रोसेस था, अपने ग्रीफ को बुक में लिखने का क्या प्रोसेस रहा, क्या स्टाइल उन्होंने फॉलो किया, कैसे उनको पब्लिशर मिला, और कैसे उन्होंने बुक को लॉन्च किया। और इस पूरे प्रोसेस में, एक होम मेकर से ऑथर के प्रोसेस में, उनकी क्या क्या लर्निंग हुई। तो ये एपिसोड बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है, कहीं मत जाइए, जरूर देखिए। वेलकम टू लेट्स टॉक क्लैरिटी पॉडकास्ट। एंड आज हमारे साथ में दिव्या वापस हमारे पॉडकास्ट में आए हैं। एंड प्रीवियसली वी हैड डन ऑडियो पॉडकास्ट, बट आज हम साक्षात वीडियो पॉडकास्ट के लिए आए हैं, बिकॉज इनकी जो स्टोरी है वो इनसे मैं इतना रिलेट कर पाता हूँ, बिकॉज व्हाट शी हैज़ डन इज़ वन इन मिलियन रेयर केस। वाई? बिकॉज शी हैज़ रोट अ बुक विदाउट रीडिंग एनी ऑफ द अदर बुक्स। ऐसा कभी होता नहीं, क्योंकि जितने भी ऑथर हैं वो बुक्स पढ़ते हैं, बचपन से कुछ ना कुछ पढ़ते आए हैं, एंड आफ्टर दैट दे राइट देयर ओन बुक। बट दिव्या के साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ है। शी रोट हर ओन स्टोरी, बट इसके बारे में ज़्यादा नहीं पूछूंगा। बट बिफोर दैट, फर्स्ट वेलकम दिव्या ऑन द शो।
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू। मीन्स अ लॉट टू हैव मी बैक अगेन, बिकॉज believe me, in this journey since last 2 years, I've met many people, but you definitely hold a very special place, because it's a very new world for me, and any opportunity that I get which helps me connect with more people is very precious, and I'll always remember that you were one of them who's always given me a platform to share what's in my heart, in my mind, so that more people can resonate with it. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you Divya. Actually, your story is so relatable, और ये ऐसी स्टोरी है जो बहुत सारे लोगों तक जानी चाहिए। That's why I'm inviting you again on my podcast. And तो अगर पॉडकास्ट की अगर मैं स्टार्ट करूँ तो बताइए, how you have written a book without reading any of the book. ये जर्नी कैसे थी, मतलब कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ?
So first of all, Rakesh, जो most important चीज़ है कि for your own story, you don't need motivation. You don't need to read anything else to write about your own self, which is the main fact of my book. Ki when I decided to write, so it was a very different purpose. I wanted to celebrate my father's life. I wanted to give him the much deserving farewell, which he never got because we lost him to COVID, and it was very heartbreaking ki there was no proper goodbyes, there were no cremation, there was no prayer meeting, there was nothing. And that hit me so badly that, you know, a person like him who was so extraordinary, so larger than life, so lively, such a big networker, a big socialite of Delhi in a good sense, how could he leave so quietly, so suddenly? मतलब होता है ना, कई बार लगता है कि there is a person, आजकल दिल्ली में बहुत लोग हैं, a lot of people tell me also, you're all over the place, and there are certain people who are very private. They are not on social media, they don't like sharing about their life, they're very private people, to each of its own. But अगर private इंसान private रहे और privately चला जाए तो आप accept कर लोगे. But एक larger than life person, like मतलब if tomorrow I am not there, so कुछ लोगों को फील होगा कि यार बड़े चुपचाप चली गई. So if I am like this, my father was a 100 times bigger version of me. I'm a very small version of him. So I couldn't accept this fact कि a person like him who lived such a beautiful life, who wanted a celebrated death. I shared with you last time also कि वो कई बार ऐसे ही मजाक मजाक में बोल देते थे कि जब मैं जाऊंगा ना तो प्लीज don't be stingy. Have a big prayer meeting for me, call a nice singer, serve everybody good food and do the best floral decoration. कई बार इंसान ऐसी बातें बोल जाता है कि वो आप चाह के भी भूल नहीं सकते. और जब बिल्कुल ही रिवर्स हुआ तो I was like, these are two things which are not matching. So where did we go wrong? Where did Papa go wrong? Why was God so unfair to us? Why was we so unfortunate? And मैं इसे कैसे reverse करूँ? So I'll be very honest, everything started with a lot of anger, with a lot of resentment and with a lot of revenge. कि अगर आपने मेरे साथ ये किया है तो see how I turn it. मतलब I definitely can't have Papa back, but I can do something to hold him back, to make him live. And with this book, my effort was to make him live, make his fragrance continue in the pages of that book. तो उसके लिए मुझे कोई motivation नहीं चाहिए थी. In fact, my daughter told me कि मम्मी you've never read a book, you've never held a book, आपको पता भी नहीं book दिखती कैसी है, तो आप दो चार पढ़ तो लो. But for me, that time it was coming from my heart, coming from within. And if your soul is ready to write something, there is nobody who can make it better or worse. I just wanted it to be the purest version of my story about my father. So that answers your question ki it was just so in the moment, so full of emotion that it didn't matter कि मेरे पास कोई training नहीं है. And maybe today I feel it helped me because it was so direct. Maybe that's why it connected with the people more, resonated more, because I was not picking up lines, picking up words, phrases to impress people. A lot of people have turned back and told me that, you know, we are not too fluent with book reading, but we could read yours and finish yours because it was so simple.
So simple.
Because मैंने वही लिखा है जो मैं आपसे अभी बात कर रही हूँ. यही वर्ड्स हैं. मैंने डिक्शनरी में पंक्चुएशन करके नहीं बोला a heavyweight word of this word. If I'm feeling heartbreaking, I will write heartbreaking. If I'm writing something which is unimaginable, it will be unimaginable. मैं ऐसा वर्ड नहीं लिखूंगी जो आपको डिक्शनरी में क्या heavyweight word लिखा है. She is a very good author. So मेरी वो फीलिंग ही नहीं थी. मैं तो पापा को एक गुड बाय कर रही थी in my own unique way and trying to preserve his memories through a book. So it just came from within. It was very instant for me.
Instant, okay. But यहाँ पे मतलब मैं ये सोच पा रहा हूँ. So COVID was very heavy for everyone in this world. और सब लोग अपनी फैमिली में, अपने नियर रिलेटिव्स में या फिर फार रिलेटिव्स में किसी न किसी को खोया है. And they are still in that grief. But you converted this grief of such a close relationship into opportunity. या फिर यो कहिए कि अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं बोलूँगा, यू कन्वर्टेड दैट ऑब्स्टेकल इनटू समथिंग which can be beautiful, which can be purposeful for you and for the world also. So means take us through the journey, मतलब वो कैसे हुआ and how you realize that this is your purpose to write a book, become an author.
So as I've already said, the main purpose was to celebrate Papa, and celebrating his life was the most important thing. But again, to heal myself, because I was going through a very dark phase of grief, and I didn't know what to do. Where वो कहते हैं ना, when you go through grief, everybody's grief is different, but how you channel it is what ultimately matters. As a child, I had a lot of times heard, a lot of times seen while growing up, that if somebody's gone through a very, very major grief, oh, he took up to alcohol. He's not meeting anybody. That person has closed himself or herself behind the doors and healing. This person has submerged himself into business. वो तो अपना दर्द भूलना चाहता है, काम में लग गया. In fact, forget everybody else, I saw my own husband 8 years back when he lost his father. His way of dealing with grief was very different. He didn't know what to do. It was a very, very sudden, unfortunate death. We lost him in 2 hours to high BP. He was only 59. So, and वो कहते ना, अभी ठीक थे, कल के plans थे. 1 महीने बाद he was thinking to celebrate his 60th birthday, and today he was gone. So I think my husband's grief was no less than mine. But what he did was he immediately joined back work.
Okay.
He cut off himself. He anyway is a very private person, a very introvert. His way to deal with pain was to not to interact with anybody, to just work 24/7. But when it came to me,
keep himself busy.
But when it came to me, the most unfortunate thing was it was peak COVID. We were in the middle of Delta wave. You know, दोस्त का दुश्मन हो गया था. I could not meet my own family. Imagine, ये तो मैंने अपनी लाइफ में नहीं सोचा था that the day I lose my father, I will not even be able to hug my own mother and cry my heart out. Because she was COVID positive, I was non-COVID. She was in a quarantine, I was not allowed to meet her. बोले जब तक इनका रिपोर्ट नेगेटिव नहीं आएगा, stay away from her. Your safety and security is also very important. अब पापा को तो खो ही दिया है. You stay safe. I have my family to look after. I had my daughter, my husband. So it was so painful for me कि here I am sitting and crying all alone. And during that time, I think it was a divine force which pushed me to do something so drastic. Otherwise, believe me, Rakesh, had I not started channelizing my grief on the pages of that book, maybe I would have taken an extreme step. So a lot of things would have happened. But I completely give this whole credit to my father and to the divine force. I'm very spiritual. Maybe that helped me that time. Ki they gave me this idea that you channelize in a way which will not only help you heal, but will navigate a completely new journey for you. ये तो मैंने सोचा ही नहीं था कि बुक बन भी जाएगी, रिलीज भी हो जाएगी, लॉन्च भी हो जाएगी. It will be accepted so well. And today I'm sitting with you and talking about it, that it's a completely new journey. So I think it was all Dad's blessings and my gurus and guides love and protection for me, that maybe they knew that already so much wrong has happened, but what good can be transformed so that maybe tomorrow we can just maybe never smile about it, but maybe we can accept this pain in a much better way and a stronger way.
Okay. So यहाँ से एक सवाल एक और आता है मेरे मन में, क्योंकि बुक लिखना हर आदमी चाहता है, हर कोई कुछ ना कुछ अपना मन बोलना चाहता है. एंड आई नो मैनी कोचेस, टीचर्स, मेंटर्स, उनके पास बहुत सारा नॉलेज है, दे वांट टू राइट सालों से, 10 साल से, but you wrote a book within a year. एक साल में आपने बुक प्रिंट भी की, पब्लिश भी की, एंड आफ्टर राइटिंग द बुक द मेन पेन ऑफ एन ऑथर इज टू फाइंड अ पब्लिशर. So how you dealt with that thing?
See, again, all these things just happened.
Okay.
With me, I will say I'm an author by a chance. A complete example of one. मुझे publisher नहीं पता, book printing नहीं पता, how many pages a book should have, how many words it should have, what font should
art.
be there, cover कैसा होगा. There was nothing that I had in my mind. But as I went through that journey of 11 months, which included my writing, my editing, my publishing, printing, and the launch, every opportunity came on its own. Okay. And I was just picking and choosing what to do, how to do.
Universe was helping.
Universe was helping. The perfect part. Because I'll be very honest, even my closest set of people didn't know about it.
Okay.
I was so secretive about it because as a first-time author, I didn't even know whether I will be one or not. Maybe last stage में book अटक जाए, print नहीं हूँ. What if the publishing team has an issue? Maybe my book is not what they are looking for. Whatever, 100 questions being a first time. Every first time is very exciting and very nerve-wracking. So मेरे में excitement तो था ही नहीं. Because it was so emotionally driven. I didn't even know what I'm getting myself into. How will people react? Ki this is what she's done after, because I didn't meet anybody for 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
I just disconnected with every outside connection, because as a writer it was very important for me to just be in my thought, make sure it's coming on the page perfectly, and give my 100 or maybe 110% to it. And the reason that I'm now struggling with my second book is कि अब वो dedication ही नहीं है, वो motivation ही नहीं है. Because with that book it was only one thing was fixed, the date of the launch.
Okay.
And it had to be my father's first death anniversary.
Okay.
With that date, everything was aligned. Ki the manuscript should be submitted on time, the publishing should happen on time, the Amazon listing should happen on time, the launch date should be fixed on time, because everything will happen on the same date. Maybe that gave me that push to just keep going. And now for last 6 months I'm struggling that I've already started my second book.
Wow.
But लिखूंगी 2 pages दिमाग में लिख देती हूँ, फिर पेपर पे लिखना भूल जाती हूँ. So that push, that motivation as an author is very important, because that drives you to the finishing line.
Okay. So in this, what I am just gathering is that the target date is very important in any project or in any, what you can say, goal. Yes. You have to set a deadline.
Yes.
And then that deadline should be connected to you emotionally somewhere. Then only everything will fall in line. Yeah. Then only you will plan. Then only you will get up, and then only you will plan ahead.
Yes.
That deadline should not be missed.
Should not be. Matlab, I was having sleepless nights, and in fact, when I disclosed it to the world, I was very clear that the day I have the first copy of the book in my hand, a proper published printed copy, then only I will tell everybody else that I'm ready with it. So when I sent, but it was very close to the finishing line, so I had to send a save the date to people, because I was inviting.
So how many days were there in between?
So I exactly remember the book launch was on 12th May 2022, and 1st May was when my save the date was sent, and I was not ready to tell people that what is in the pipeline. So I just sent them a save the date with my father's picture on it.
Okay.
So obviously people knew ki she could not have a prayer meeting, so she must be doing a Guruji satsang, a bhajan sandhya, or anything spiritual, which was the reaction. तो बस सबके thumbs up आ गए, looking forward, नमस्ते आ गए. Then on 6th May, I exactly remember the dates.
You got the book printed?
नहीं, book आ गई हाथ में. बस I was waiting कि बस first copy आ जाए, because first copy के साथ consignment भी आ गया ना पूरा printed. So the moment I had my first consignment, I sent my first invite. That's celebrating you
around a week before. Yeah.
For the book launch of my dad's daughter. And believe me, Rakesh, the feedback was unbelievable. Means there were people, लोग generally हमें भी invites आते हैं, we just send a thumbs up. There were people calling me that we can't believe that you've done this. And forget giving a thumbs up. It will be a privilege and an honor to attend a book launch like this. And then I was getting calls from people that, our extended friends and family want to attend. Can we please get them? Because we just mentioned that a daughter has done this to celebrate her father's first death anniversary. And can we get them along? So it was very warm and a lot of love.
It was amazing journey you have shared. And उसके बाद में launch के बाद में means it is very difficult path because to promote a book and based on such difficult topic. So how was that journey? Means how you promoted or how you have gained so much sale on Amazon and it is very difficult to speak up the topic also because it is having a lot of emotional connect. So how was that process you did?
So I'll accept that I never thought I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that this book reaches as many people as it can. Every form of marketing or promotion has been done by me because the publishing house only takes care of your Amazon sales and online publicity and unfortunately my publisher was not Delhi based. So they could never really understand that what I was trying to do. They were Chennai based. So they did whatever they could do in their capacity and because everything was happening again, it was the fourth wave of COVID when my book was launched. So first wave happened, then second was Delta when I lost Papa. Third wave was Omicron where I got COVID. That was the period when I was writing my book. And when I was launching my book, that was the fourth wave which had come. So I remember even my launch was somehow on hold. Ki hoga ya nahi hoga because we again touching the fourth wave of COVID. So a lot of people were like, we're going to give you our confirmations very closer to the date. Because our families are not keen that we attend a big event. And it was a big event. It was 400 plus people. So Tabhi, my publisher also, they couldn't fly down to Delhi. They were also, everybody, for them, your life is most special and most precious. So I did the marketing, not knowing where I'm heading to, but tried everything and directly connected to bookshops, told them. And as you said, this was something so beautiful that a lot of people came forward to help me. My heartfelt gratitude to a lot of them, I can't name all of them, you're one of them for sure, that some people just resonated with the whole thought that if somebody can do this for her father or if somebody could do this to fight grief, this is the least we can do to help her. So a lot of networking platforms that I was a part of, they came forward to help me. A lot of bookshops kept my book without any terms and conditions which happen in most of the cases. So I'll say that I have a lot of gratitude and I feel very blessed that little I tried from my side, and if I was trying, my opportunities also transformed into something very constructive and productive, so that I could be very proud of them.
Yes, because the thing is that once you start doing something, because you are doing some action, तो आपका action देख के लोग भी motivate होते हैं that let's continue this caravan, let's help her, or let's march together. Yeah.
Because I think, Rakesh, the biggest reason to connect with is grief. An emotion of grief is as much people are scared of it, but as much is how hard you try, you can't run away from it. And with my book or my journey, a lot of people came forward who were already dealing with it. So they were very accepting. And unfortunately, a lot of people got into it after me. So then they resonated with my feelings. Now we understand what she was trying to say. So it's a continuous cycle. Just as much, we will not stop celebrating new births and new arrivals in our life. Whether it's a birth of a child or a new arrival of a family member in our a family with new weddings, the cycle will end with death also. And in that cycle, that's where I'm in the middle. Ki when you go through this pain, you can either be somebody or you can not be somebody at all. So which path you choose is your journey further. And when they see me, they realize that if Divya can do it, if she can transform her biggest pain into something so constructive, like how you said, it can be an opportunity, it can be a reason to celebrate my father's life, it can be a new journey. But whatever I'm doing, if I'm giving my 100% to it, then nobody should have an issue about it. And I know somewhere down the line they will also resonate with it, that she's turned it to something very meaningful. If I'm writing about something on the page, and if two people are able to connect with my quote and they feel, oh my god, we were just thinking about this today morning, I feel my purpose is achieved.
Okay, and actually this topic, this grief, hearing this name, it creates something inside us that we try to repel from the grief.
Absolutely.
But hearing from you the story, the grief part, what I'm inferring is that we have to accept the grief just like any other emotion, just like happiness, just like if you are challenged. So grief also, it is a part of life. We cannot get away with grief. Sometime or somewhere or any time in the future, we have to experience this emotion. But the one thing is that we have to first accept it. We have to accept that this is also a part of life, and then we have to overcome the grief. So can you share that if someone is listening and going through a grief, what 2-3 lines or what message will you give to someone who is going through this grief? Yeah, because you have been to this journey, and you, as a stronger, after coming out of the grief, you become very stronger, meaningful, purposeful. So if you can share some of the things, it will be very helpful for someone.
So I think the most important thing I can say is, first of all, I'm not as strong as I project to be. I have my weaker days.
To say this is very strong.
No, right? Matlab, still means I feel this pain of losing dad will never go. In fact, it will get buried with me only, because this pain comes back in waves. There is not a single day. 12th May 2021, I lost him. Today we are talking on 30th November 23. 24 is almost here. There hasn't been a single day when I have not thought about how horrible it was to lose him, how painful it is to move ahead in the journey of life without him, how unimaginable it is to celebrate any milestone without him, not have his blessings, not receive his messages, not just have him around for any small or big suggestion. So that insecure daughter in me will live till I live. I just project to be very strong, because maybe that's how life decided for me, because I was left with another very weak parent, my mother, and I feel her pain was much bigger than me. Maybe I came out and open to talk about it, but she never got an opportunity, and maybe she would have never chose it like this. That's how I chose it. So I feel losing a life partner is worse than losing anybody at all, because this is the age when you want to age, when you want to get old together, when you want to share your feelings, your loneliness, and we get busy in our life. Today I have so many things on my plate that sometimes I don't even get a chance to breathe. Again, a very divine blessing that I like being so busy. I'm a very multitasking person. I like putting my hand, my feet, my head into 100 things. That's what gives me happiness. But my mother is not like this. Maybe somebody else going through grief is not like this. They still sometimes are at loss of words. What has happened to us? How do we go through it? So I think to all those people, my only suggestion would be take it day by day. I remember when it happened with me, somebody had told me, this too shall pass. means, time will heal, but time doesn't heal anything at all. Time only makes it accepting. You become more normal with accepting your pain, and you never get over your grief, but you start remembering them in beautiful days. Instead of tears, you start remembering them with smiles and keeping them alive in their good memories, with their good moments that you spent with them. And over the period of time, you will remember them. Like, there are some days, I was just telling you, I just watched this movie, The Vaccine War, and the movie was so painful for me even after 2.5 years of losing dad, because I was not able to sit through it. If I go somewhere and people are having a prayer meeting, for me a simple prayer meeting, attending it is so difficult now because my tears don't stop. I'm feeling bad for the person who's lost somebody near to them, but I also go back to my pain, because every time I see somebody experiencing it, my nightmares come back to it. So for anybody going through pain would be, remember, grief will come back in waves. You will never actually get over it. But if you transform it into something more meaningful, maybe for example, like me or somebody else, it will just become bearable. For me, I will never forget dad. I will never get over the pain of being a COVID hit family. I will never get over that anger of being all alone in that situation. But I also have a lot of gratitude for so many good things that I happened post that. And even today, I live in that fear. I still have a lot of loved ones in my life. I again have that fear of one day losing any one of them or they losing me. We all live in that constant fear. Who doesn't do that? But if together we can share our grief, that was my biggest reason. Because India till today is not very accepting with grief support groups.
So thank you so much, Divya, for sharing those beautiful words about grief and how you transformed grief into an opportunity and something goal-oriented. So let's take the discussion forward and discuss about 3 years back you are a homemaker and now you are a published author. So in this last 3 years, what top three learnings you have, and what are the new things you have learned, and top three highs of this last 3 years, so that people will resonate and understand about author's journey and what are the top three highs.
So I think last 3 years have taught me a lot. They've been a life transforming 3 years for me. And before that, I was a very protected and very dependent person, and that's how I was all my life. And the only thing I ever craved for was to have an identity of my own. And I used to often tell this to my father that, you got me married so early. Maybe I would have done something if you would have given me an opportunity, and with a very good education to support me. So he used to just laugh over it, and I think it was his gift to finally tell me that, just do whatever you want to do, because even your life is precious. If mine was, which you're celebrating till today, so even your own life is very precious. And I think the biggest learning that I've had in these last 2 years in this journey is, people used to say nobody's happy, people come for your good things, but people don't come for your sad times. And in this last 2 years, I feel people do come for your sad days, but they're not happy seeing you happy. They are not with you on the same page when you're growing, which is sad.
Okay.
Because when you have seen somebody in their worst, when you saw them slipping down the hill, and maybe you were not there to give them that hand. So if they are walking up the mountain, if you definitely can't put that flag for them, you can just clap for them. But that's also something which is very difficult for us to do as human. That's my biggest learning, that every little baby step that I'm taking, maybe some people are proud of me, they help me, they support me, but some people are still not understanding my journey. So I think I really can't explain it to everybody. It's my own journey. The pain was mine, the suffering was mine, and now even the
Book is yours.
book is mine, and even the celebrations that have come along with it, the rewards, the awards, every clap is mine. I completely own it, and that's the biggest learning, that wherever you are, whatever you are, if you're happy in that particular situation, everything around you will resonate the same positivity. And if you are not happy, if you're forever cribbing, then nothing, no matter how much you have on your plate, there will be something to feel bad about.
Missing. Yeah.
And what I really want from life now is that, I've heard somewhere that the more you hear negative stuff from people, the more they pull away your positivity from you and transform their negativity to you. So I'm at a stage where I want to meet meaningful people, have conversations which are making me learn something better, be my best version, and evolve every day, so that tomorrow when I go up and meet my father, I can tell him that, this is what I achieved. Even not having you around, because he was my biggest protection blanket, he was my umbrella. And if I can do something on my own, which I can own completely as an individual, not as a daughter, not as a wife, not as a mother, not even as an author. You never know when my second book comes. But whatever little, big and small I'm doing right now, if that gives me happiness, if that gives me 10 hours of happy sleep, and if I'm able to contribute anything at all to society, then I'll feel my purpose, my life is also achieved. Because why wait? I was telling my daughter, maybe you don't write a book on me when I go, so I'm going to write it in this lifetime and celebrate myself every day, so that I'm not even expecting this from all of you. So I just want to live a happy life.
Great. That's
And
great.
I think if you're happy from within, life is difficult. Every day you wake up with new struggles,
New challenges.
you face new challenges, you sleep with horrible issues. Life is not easy. But if I'm smiling today and you can't see my tears, that's also what I have chosen as. So it doesn't really matter what somebody else thinks about me, but when my friends or my family or my loved ones today, unfortunately, when they go through grief, my feelings towards them are very different. I'm not somebody who would say that, oh, you were not there, when I went through it, or you didn't come and support me, you didn't wipe my tear, you didn't clap on my book launch. I totally feel their pain. I want to be with them. They are on my thoughts. And if any of my words, any of my book chapter or my podcast episode or my any story or reel that I did on my Instagram handle makes them feel better, I feel very proud. I'll just quickly share an example with you that 2-3 people have connected with me on my DMs on my author page that after losing a loved one, we were contemplating suicide. We were contemplating extreme steps. And then somebody told us about your book. And we felt so motivated that if a non-reader, a non-writer, a homemaker, a normal daughter can do something like this, then, why can't we do that? So, we'll also take you as a motivation. When I go out these days, sometimes people just come with a lot of love and affection. And they give me that tight hug and they say, we are proud of you. And you actually know that it's coming from within. They are not faking it. And I just say thank you with a happy smile that we are proud of you. And there are so many people who are connected to my father. When they hug me and they say, we feel our friend is with us, Suresh is still around. So if dad is living through me, I think what else can I do as a daughter to just keep his memories and his fragrance alive.
Wow. That's such an amazing anecdotes and small incident you have shared, and it is bringing me so much joy and happiness and full of positive energy around us. So, Divya, means we are at the end of our podcast, and thank you for being on the show. And so, I'm having only one question to you. That so we have talked about present, we have talked about past. So, what is the next? What is the future for Divya? And when is the second book is coming? And what else?
So definitely, this is one thing that
You,
my husband now wants, my daughter wants, that get that energy, whatever you have accumulated in the most positive way,
you,
and
you,
put it
you
on
can you can decide the date also on the podcast.
no, that would be too much pressure. I'll have sleepless nights. No, but believe me, it's very strange, Rakesh, that with both the books, obviously the timeline is question mark, but the biggest similarity for both my books right now is before anything at all, I decide the title of the book, even during my dad's daughter. The day I started my book, on the first page, I had written this title.
Okay.
And the publishing house, as a protocol, they had suggested me a lot of titles.
Different title.
Our editing team feels this can be the title, this can be the subline, this can be the tagline. I said, change whatever. The title doesn't change. And even, I'm
So-
not disclosing, but for the second book also, the first thing that I decided was the title.
Title, okay.
It's on my mind, it's in my heart.
Okay.
And I've written it on the
Diary.
the first page of my new book with the date and with my God's and guides blessings. And I really want to give it some meaningful time. And my first book was very emotionally driven. So a lot of people said, a lot of section of society said we don't connect with it. Because
Yes.
only somebody who's gone through pain, who's gone through grief, why would you want to read somebody else's pain? No, you will not want to. But okay, that's how I wanted it to be. So the first book was very emotional. There is not a single person who didn't turn back and said, you really made us cry. I have a lot of people who still date haven't finished the last 2 chapters because they said we could not complete it. It was just too nerve-wracking for us.
Yes, right.
Because they also must have lost a loved one and they connected with the essence a lot. And those who've not lost a loved one, they could not really connect with it. So for my second book, again, it's going to be on human emotions,
Okay.
which I very closely feel about. And but I'm going to make it much more relatable, much more lighter. A lot of people around me feel that I have a very nice humorous side. My humor is pretty good, so I'm going to test that as
That's-
well and see how well it has been accepted. Until then, I'll keep doing whatever life throws me at.
So-
I'm always somebody. If you give me lemons, I will make a
Lemonade.
lemonade.
And Divya, all the best for this book also to grow more and more viewers and more hands it will go, readers, and all the best for second book also. And I would love to come to your book launch.
I will definitely call you. Just start manifesting with me that it happens super soon. And as you said, yeah, first book will always be special. That's my most prized possession because it makes me feel that dad is still around. And I will keep working on that book also.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people tell me that you have to stop working on your first book to concentrate your energy on the second one. That's not how I feel. And mere saath to it happens just the reverse. No matter how hard I try ki, okay, let me put it a little on the side and concentrate, there pops up an opportunity where my first book is, getting celebrated or getting
Awarded,
recognized
yeah.
or awarded. Like, yesterday I checked my dashboard on Amazon and about 11 people have purchased it internationally in this month.
Okay.
So if my thing is you never know where your feelings, your words travel, and maybe somebody resonates with it, and when they connect with me, so I will never stop it. That is my first baby, and that's my dad's blessings. So I will continue working on it also. But I will definitely make him more proud. I don't want to be a one-book author. They will say she only did it and she vanished. So how much hard work I've put in this journey it will definitely culminate in the second book also.
Great. So Divya, thank you for coming on the show, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you and get your positive vibes and energies. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Rakesh, for always having me here and making me feel that this new journey has actually made me connect with so many more beautiful people like you, that it's worth all the pain and all the tears that have gone past by, and it will definitely give me more reasons to celebrate every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग लेट्स टॉक क्लैरिटी पॉडकास्ट। और अगर इस पॉडकास्ट को आप और आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं तो लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर डालिए क्या आपको इस एपिसोड में अच्छा लगा, क्या आप इम्प्रूवमेंट चाहते हैं, या फिर वो भी डालिए अगर आपको कोई गेस्ट जिसको आप लेट्स टॉक क्लैरिटी पॉडकास्ट में लाना चाहते हैं तो उनका नाम और लिंक दे दीजिए। आई विल ट्राई टू मेक देम कम ऑन माई पॉडकास्ट। सो थैंक you for watching this episode.